If you want to analyze what is phonetics, what is phonology, if you want to understand what is the difference between them, the first thing that we have to do is understand and analyze what is linguistics. So for the reason, I'm going to share with you a mind map. In this mind map, we're going to identify some important concepts. Well, let's start. What is linguistics? Linguistics is the general study of a language. No more. We can divide linguistics in two parts. The first one is the prescriptive, that is everything related with the grammar structure, with rules. In prescriptive, we have the language scholar. But on the other hand, we have the descriptive, that is how the language is observed and analyzed in a context, or how the language is analyzed in a natural way. In linguistics, we have three main concepts. The first one is the language, that is the system of languages, the whole sum of languages in the world. After that, we have the langue, that is a specific language, for example, English, Spanish, French. And in the last part, we have the parole, that is the use of that specific language by a person. In linguistics, we have some levels, some important levels. The first one is the lexicology semantics, that is everything related with the vocabulary, everything related with the meaning of words. Continue with phonetics and phonology, that is related with the pronunciation and the sound system. Continue with morphology, that is the structure of a word, for example, the prefixes and suffixes. And in the last part, we have the syntaxes, that is the structure of a sentence. Continue with phonetics and phonology. That is our main topic. Phonetics is the study of the human sound. Human sounds. In phonetics, we have three main concepts. The first one is the articulatory, that is related in detail how we can produce and speech the sounds. Continue with the acoustic, that is everything related with the vibration, how the sound pass from the speaker to the listener. And after that, we have the auditory, that is the perception of the speech sounds. So, how the sounds are transmitted by the ear to the brain. In phonology, what is phonology? Phonology is the classification of sounds. In phonology, we have two main concepts. The first one is segmental, and the second one is suprasegmental. The segmental, of course, is a segmentation of a language, is a combination of the sounds, and in suprasegmental is how you say what you are saying. For example, we have the tone, we have the stress, we have the intonation, we have the syllabus, and that's it. So it was a general view of what is linguistics and its main different categories.
Sounds are classified based on a physiological and acoustic criteria. They are basically divided in two types, consonants and vowel sounds. These sounds depends on, firstly, the point of articulation that we are going to expose in a moment, secondly, the mode of articulation which can be occlusive, fricative, affricate, liquid, and semiconsonant, thirdly, the level of sonority which can be sound or deaf. It means that if the vocal bands vibrate, they are sounds, on the contrary, they are deaf. And finally, the level of nasality, which involves a slight exit of air through the nose.
Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be talking about the place of articulation in English, which is where the constriction of airflow takes place. I have four terms here to discuss today. The first one is labiodental. Labiodental sounds are produced with upper teeth and lower lips, such as f and v. Family, foot, feet, very, vest, vegetable. Bilabial sounds are produced with both lips when the lips come together, like p, b, m, potato, pet, pat, boat, beat, mom, mean. Velar sounds are produced at the velan or soft palate, like k and g. kiosk, keat, go, get. Palatal sounds are produced at the front of hard palate, like j, ch, judge, judgment, sheet, shoe, child, cheat. Thank you for having me.
Hello guys, my name is Juan Camilo Muñoz and today I'm going to talk about three consonant sounds. The first one is dental sounds. Well, we're going to talk about the dental consonant. The dental consonant are formed with the tongue tip behind the front teeth. We have, in this case, two dental consonants in English. For example, the first one is we have sounds like author, think, thought, throw. And we have another. The second one, we have examples, for example, they, whether, bother, mother. Additionally, in the dental sounds, we have two sounds, the sound T and D. In Spanish, we can say some words like tetero, tomate, dedo, dados. The uvular sound. The uvular sound are those sounds made by the articulation of the back of the tongue towards to the uvula. These sounds don't exist in English or Spanish, but in French it's very common, especially in the French speaking in Paris. For example, in words like boulangerie or bonjour.
Now I'm gonna talk about the interdental, alveolar, and glottal consonants. Interdental consonants are produced by placing the tip of the tongue between the upper and lower front teeth. For example, in English is the sound of the consonants T and H together, so the sound is think or thought. Alveolar consonants are articulate with the tongue against or close to the superior alveolar ridge. They are, for example, in Spanish, the sound of the C, N, R, S, and Z. For example, vamos, canción, or negro. And in English is, for example, the sound of the C in the word ice. Glottal consonants are articulate near to the glottis that is located in the throat and sound like in English, we have the sound of the H, for example, hot, harm, hilarious. And in Spanish, we have the sound of J and G with vowels I and E. For example, Javier, jornada, jugo, gente o gimnasio.
Now we start to explain about vowels. In the first part, we have two different general characteristics. The first is vowels are produced without any obstruction of ear. This is according with the ear doesn't obstruct when you produce the sound. And for example, A, I, O, you have you haven't any obstruction of the air. The second characteristic is the body of the tongue moves in the mouth to shape each vowel. So this is very important because the tongue need to move in different ways through our mouth. And now the tongue's position relative to the palate, we have high, low, mild, high. Height is close to the palate. The load, the gap between it and the palate is more open. The mid height is a half closed vowel. The mid load is a mine open vowel or half open. A vowel is different by mid height. Remember, my height is closed vowel. My load is open vowel. The mid lower a vowel that is made with a tone
wait somewhere between my light and the my load. It's in the, I think it's in the middle of the our mouth. And the second part it's about the vowel chart. In this part you can find um, how to produce the sound in the front or the back of our mouth, and we have another part that is a position of the lips. We can find three different positions: rounded, straight, and neutral. The rounded, the lips are positioned forwards into the shape of a circle. O, for example, straight is the corner of the lips were moved away from each other, as when smiling lips. It's I. This is the pronunciation about it and the position of the lips. And the last one is a neutral. The lips are not necessary to rounded or split. Maybe the E. And that's it. So remember that the position of the tongue is that involved in the articulation from central or back.